Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, desolate serfs, peasants, vassals, and minions. I'm a useful idiot. Welcome. And today I want to talk about Israel. All right, I'll give you a couple of minutes for 4 or 5 of you to unsubscribe, and for some of you shills over there at Tel Aviv University to get my channel lined up, and then for some of you to go ahead and turn it off before I start actually talking about Israel. All right, is everybody settled in now? Okay, I'm going to do this video about Israel, and as it turns out, here we have it. Israel gets its prize, its reward for the Gaza slaughter. And we knew this was going to happen because it always happens. Israel is now confiscating 1,000 acres of land in the West Bank. And some sources are reporting this is the largest Israeli land grab in 30 years. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds true. And so we have this pattern over the last 30 some odd years of Israel basically using any excuse to punish the Palestinians by taking more of their land and justifying the expansion of settlements and the confiscation of land by punishment for supposed deeds by the Palestinians. A pretty easy process to manage. Certainly it's being managed in the public relations sphere around the world. Although interestingly enough, they've been condemned, Israel's been condemned multiple times for these illegal settlements. They're illegal according to the UN, and yet they continue to go on. And this is another situation of punishment by confiscation of land, the justification of confiscation of land, the expulsion of more Palestinians, and the expansion of the Israeli Jewish state. And as I've said, just about every video I've done about Israel, it's about the land. It's always about the land. Everything that goes on in Israel is about the land, and it always has been from the very beginning, even before the very beginning. And this continues to prove that fact. Israel's ultimate goal is not a two-state solution. The Israeli goal has never been a two-state solution. The Israeli goal from the very beginning and has always been to confiscate all the land and expel all the Palestinians. It's really that simple, and I'm not making any value judgments. I'm not being anti-Semitic. I am just pointing out the very simple facts, unfortunate facts that they are. And so now, August 31st, Israel announced that it's appropriating 994 acres, nearly 1,000 acres of the West Bank, and supposedly tying it in this area where these 3 Israeli boys were killed. Let's remember that these 3 Israeli boys were killed, as it turns out, were not killed by Hamas, and they had nothing to do with it. Israel knew about it. Israel knew they were dead on day one, and used it as an excuse for a roundup and a slaughter. And so it's ironic that that is the source of justification for confiscating this land. And as usual, it was declared state land by Israel's military-run civil administration. And what they do is they just confiscate this land in 5 different villages. And the Palestinians have 45 days to appeal this to the civil administration. Of course, it's will not be honored. It will never be honored. They have no possibility of any rights in these courts. In fact, as pointed out, it's codified in the Israeli system that the Palestinians will have no right to this land whatsoever, especially through the judicial system. And we already have the expansion of Jewish settlements, so this will be more areas that will consolidate the Israeli position in the West Bank, with the ultimate goal of basically taking it completely over as well. A year ago, Israel already took bids on the development of 1,000 units in this area, so that's another part of the puzzle. They've known all along that they were going to confiscate this land. They just looked for a reason to do it, much like the excursions into Gaza. Excuse me. They just wait for an opportunity, and that when the opportunity creates itself or reveals itself, then they take advantage of it, like Rahm Emanuel says, never let a good crisis go to waste, and this is a good example of that as well. So these bids were taken 2 years ago, or a year ago, for the 1,000 units on these sites, and in fact, over 500 units are already under construction in these areas. And so they knew this was going to happen. They knew they were going to confiscate the land, just like they know they're going to confiscate all the other land. And I can't put it better than the housing minister of Israel in this situation, who said that, quote, an appropriate Zionist response to the Palestinian terrorist government, unquote, is how he characterized it. So he states very boldly, it is indeed an appropriate Zionist response. But to talk about real estate development in terms of confiscating land from a Palestinian terrorist government with 500 units already built on it rings pretty hollow. So there we have it. It's the land, and Israel, pretty much the same way that it's incrementally constructed their state, the state Israel, has done it incrementally, confiscating one chunk of land at a time, building one settlement at a time, and now they got 1,000 new acres. That's their prize. That's their reward for Gaza, and we'll see more of this. It's just a matter of time. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too?